However, the good news coming from West Nile is that movement of cargo trucks and business activities that were disrupted following 3 days of demonstrations in Aru territorial province have resumed after constructive discussions on the northeastern side of the DRC. As of yesterday, cargo trucks had started moving normally. More than 30 trucks entered Uganda from the DRC, and more trucks left Uganda to the DRC. We will continue to encourage our truck drivers, motorists, passengers to prioritize their safety and remain law-abiding. They should also stay informed through reliable sources, that is, their colleague drivers and security personnel on the other side of the northeastern DRC, for updates as they cross the border into the DRC. We're also happy to inform the public that 4 Ugandans who were allegedly abducted from Orom sub-county, that is in Kitgum, by armed gunmen from South Sudan, suspected to be from the SPLM-IO, were also rescued by the UPDF. The joint UPDF and police field force unit continue to maintain visibility and protective cover for our communities in Orom East sub-county in Kitgum. And as we continue to engage our counterparts from South Sudan to avoid any acts of violence among our border communities. The 4 rescued victims were abducted while gardening in a place called Kabongum, and these include Longaren, Amien, Ayela, and another one. We are happy to see to it that they were rescued and are back home alive. Now, we are aware today is of course, the first day of the second phase of the recruitment of probationer police constables. And we'd like to inform the public that what we are getting from across the country is that the turn-up has been relatively good in some of the stations. The recruitment centers, we've registered 100% turn-up, and we want to thank the applicants who have turned up in these recruitment centers. Of course, the recruitment centers of today, we have interviews in Napa, Koyam, Noya, Shema, Semba, Bulembale City, Omoro, Ruchiga, Bundibujo, Sironko, Soroti City, Nebi, Sinjiro, Masaka, Busia, Iganga, Kayunga, Pakwacha, and Chiboga. But we also want to alert the applicants who are scheduled to do their interviews on the 10th, that these interviews were shifted to the 11th of May due to the commencement of the national census. So these stations, which include these recruitment centers, which include Entebbe, Kajansi, Abim, Manafwa, Amuria, Lira City, Obongi, Kanungu, Kazoru, Birizi, Chitagwenda, Lwengo, Mitiana, Bukwo, Chibuku, Bujiri, Jinja City, Nakasongola, and Kagadi, that we are supposed to do the second phase of the interviews on the 10th. Their interviews are now shifted to the 11th of May, and subsequently from the 11th, 12th, up to the 13th. And we've sent out very competent recruitment teams, and we expect the selection process we expect the best eligible candidates from this second phase. Remember, we want about 2,500 of them. The number is slightly above 5,000. So there's a 50% chance for the applicants who have actually turned up. Right now, they are undergoing oral, medical, and written interviews, and we expect them to demonstrate a wide range of personal qualities that are required of a police officer. Away from that, We are seeking the public's help in identifying perpetrators behind 2 torture videos that went viral. And because of that, our Directorate of CID is calling upon all concerned people from all over the country to contact it at CID headquarters, Chivuli, about 2 separate videos of torture that are suspected to have occurred within our country. In one of the videos, there is a vulnerable woman dressed in a blue blouse and black skirt or short. She's subjected to torture where she's carved in an awkward position, her hands and legs tied together, and the perpetrators of violence were continuing to burn her body with hot melting droplets from a plastic jerrycan. Then in another separate video, there are 2 male workers who are confined in a container, allegedly by their employer, who is suspected to be of Chinese or Asian origin. They were subjected to physical and mental torture. You could see that there were physical beatings with a belt, kickings and hitting on their faces and heads. And we all know that torture is among the grievous crimes that the police investigates. As a result, the Directorate of CID have already opened an inquiry into the terrible images and disturbing crimes. And we call upon, we want to also call upon the victims who appear in these videos, like the lady. What we don't know is that her situation was more vulnerable. We don't know even whether she survived the amount of torture or not. If she's still there, we call upon her to come forward. And these 2 male employees, if anybody knows them or if they're out there, we also call upon them to come forward and help our detectives explore the torture in great detail. We shall not stop until the alleged perpetrators are identified and brought to justice. We also want to remind the public, employers, border movements, that we all have a great responsibility to protect and have compassion for each other. So it is really inhuman to treat a fellow human being in such a horrible manner. In a country like ours, which is decent and moral, has moral values that we've been following all this while. Sometime in the course, towards the end of last week, there was a lot of negative propaganda about the relocation of 60 VIPPU personnel who were affected by the ongoing road construction in Zambia barracks. Of course, there was a lot of debate, negative propaganda in the media, others claiming that the barracks administration was extorting from police officers who were affected, and which was not true. Of course, the police, through the Directorate of Human Resource Administration and the barracks administration, managed to relocate 60 personnel from the VIPPU unit we managed to acquire some units and space inside police barracks. There's an area which is identified as St. Paulciano. It's next to the church in Zambia. And we did this to pave way for the ongoing road construction by UNRWA. And so we just want to inform most of the propagandists who are out there that we managed to properly reallocate these officers. The reallocation will not impact their families or their duties or even the clientele whom they serve with the excellent VIP protection service. So We are very grateful to the Construction and Estates Department and the Barracks Administration for having offered them accommodation, and so that one also puts it to rest. Now, we also want to applaud our K9 unit. In their quarterly report of January, February, and March, they managed to perform. Their performance was outstanding, where they managed to conduct 5,128 trackings during the months of January to March 2024. There is a slight increase because by this time last year, 2023, we had 4,902 trackings by our K9 unit. And we are also happy to inform the public that by the end of this year, I think by this quarter, we are extending K9 services to 13 more districts which are supposed to benefit from K9 services. Of course, you know that our K9 unit is one of those specialized support units that help to prevent, detect, and investigate crime. And of course, we use these K9 dogs basically for tracking suspects and apprehension, for narcotic and explosive detection, for search and rescue, crowd control, and dispersal. But we've not been using these dogs for crowd dispersal. Otherwise, we can always bring them out in very extreme cases because we have the aggressive ones that can help to disperse crowds. We are now, they are still operating in 91 districts and also at Entebbe International Airport at all border points where we do have the explosive detection dogs. And so the 13 other units or districts where we are extending the K9 services include Kanungu, Chikagati, Nesinjiro, Bukomansimbi, Nebi, Apach, Ajumani, Agago, Butambala, Nakaseke, Nakasongola, Chibuku, Bukwo, and Kasanda. So these 13 additional deployments will bring the number of stations to 104, and each station has at least 2 sniffer dogs. And we are also happy to inform the public that the numbers of our police dogs has actually grown. By 2007, we had about 14 dogs. But because of the operationalization of our breeding and training center in Nagarama, we have managed to breed these dogs. And by this year, we shall be knocking 300 in number. We shall be having 300 K9 dogs. And the dogs that we are training, in 2010, we were importing a sniffer dog at 45 million. And right now, to import a sniffer dog, it can take up to $15,000 US. So we save about 80% by breeding these dogs here, and which is very, very good. So these dogs are rewarded and praised for the hard work that they do. We give them good food, care, exercise, and protection. And they are kept in a police kennel where they remain bonded with the handler. And outside there were people who were saying, no, I think the police dog sleeps very well. A police dog has to be handled in a very, very, has to be handled actually with care because of its sensitivity that enables it to do good work. So we continue to thank Gyros and the development partners. Gyros has so far extended donations of up to 26 motor vehicles and 4 tricycles to the police K9 unit. And we want to remind the public that for these dogs really to do a good job, they should always preserve the crime scenes and ensure that they report their cases in a timely manner. Canine services are available 24/7 and they are free of charge. Whoever wants these services should get in touch with the DPC, the OCCID, and OC station or any other relevant authority at that station. And for any further help, they can also call the canine headquarters on toll-free line number 0800 300 900 for help. Now, we're also getting complaints about a number of tourists, both local and foreign, who claim that while in Jinja City, some of them had their rooms broken into and some of their valuable properties were stolen. Of course, because this affects our tourism industry, we took interest in these complaints, and we have so far managed to arrest 12 hotel workers and security guards who have been charged to court for burglary and theft of properties from tourists. So we want to thank the police in Kira region who have been able to do a good job together with our tourism police and the Association of Hotel Owners and Proprietors in Jinja City. We've established that there are 5 separate complaints that were brought to the police of burglary and theft at hotels and guest houses in Jinja City. For instance, on the 28th of March, a female client only called Harriet, while at the source of the Nile Kabits, her room was broken into and her iPhone, laptop, and iPad were stolen. We managed to track down 2 suspects, Rotasi Abe and Eridapa Stephen, who were staff, and those ones were actually charged before the Chief Magistrate's Court in Jinja. Again, on the 31st of March at Anchor Hotel, hotel staff allegedly broke into the room of Patience, a client at the hotel, and they stole her iPhone, laptop, and watch. That was at 3:30 a.m. We managed to arrest 4 suspects whom we tracked down, and these include Osupa Emmanuel, Lokipi Samuel, Subi Regan, and Ausu Papa George, who were also charged in court. Then again on the 4th of April at 4 a.m. at Nile Village Hotel, 2 clients, Caroline and Dina, we are mentioning 1 name, had their rooms broken into, and they had their laptops, 3 phones, and cash 300,000 stolen. This was also at 4 a.m. So you can imagine when people are expected to be deep asleep, this is when these burglaries were actually taken. We arrested a hotel staff called Jaguar Robert with the help of the police canine dog, which tracked him down. Then on the 16th of, we had another incident also on the 16th of April. We are giving these incidents to let the people know the magnitude of the problem and also the police intervention. At Mutima Villa Hotel, Vincent reported theft of 3 phones, a pair of shoes, t-shirts, and trousers. We tracked down 2 private security guards, Dramadi Constantino and Wanome Roland, Roland, who were charged also to court. Then on the 26th of April, at Hotel Paradise, there was a client identified as Noel. His phone and laptop were also stolen from the room. We arrested 2 security guards, Omara Francis and Odware Emmanuel, who were also charged. So after these 6 incidents, we decided to call the leadership of Kira Police Region. Managed to call for a meeting with the proprietors and directors of hotels and guest houses. And we came up with a number of strategies that were basically rotating around target hardening and they were rotating around target hardening. The joint crime prevention programs that we identified included changing the physical environment of some of the accommodation areas to reduce opportunities for tourist crimes like hardening the targets, like I said, putting additional safety instructions in all surroundings, training staff and security guards to recognize tourism-related safety concerns, and installation of electric room checks that are regularly changed, providing safety deposit boxes and safes within the rooms, installation of surveillance cameras, educating tourists about crime prevention. But what we've done greatly has been the high visibility patrols along, we've created patrol routes around these hotels and guest houses to increase the safety of tourists. And then we are also working with the Office of the DPP to facilitate the testimonies of tourists who have already left the country so that their testimonies can be conducted from wherever they are. Then the police in Kampala met out an operation at Prima Bet House in Chisasi Road in Ntinda. We got intelligence that some of these betting centers and sports houses had turned into criminal hubs, and the community in Chisasi had identified the Prima Bet House as one of those criminal hubs. And because of these consistent reports, Prima Bet was housing criminals who were using drugs at the same location, and it is from their betting house or company that these thugs would go and carry out atrocities and attacks against pedestrians, and also carry out burglaries and other forms of violence against members of the community. So we carried out an operation with our counterparts from the UPDF, and we managed to arrest 15 suspected criminals from inside that criminal hub. That was at 4 a.m. On the 4th of May 2024. We noticed that most of them are not even residents of Ntinda. They were coming from Chiwatule, Chebando, Maganjo, Chisasi, Mukono, Nakawa to come and do business around that place. So I think we need to continue targeting these betting companies as one way of making clean their businesses and also weeding out wrong criminals. I think that is that. Let us also do Uganda, and then we can